Welcome back, everyone. Hey, I want to do a quick shout out. We are now finally celebrating 2 years on YouTube. How amazing is that? Haven't hit 300 subscribers yet, but I'm sure it's coming. So if you like this podcast video and you like all my past podcast videos, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. So for the 2-year anniversary, I thought we would start with putting on our tallest, brightest, and most fabulous boots to talk about a show that's all about embracing who you are. We're talking about the 6-time Tony Award winner with music and lyrics by the iconic Cyndi Lauper, and a story that's as heartwarming as it is high-heeled. Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots is a musical with music and lyrics by 2-time Grammy-winning artist Cyndi Lauper and book by Tony-winning actor and playwright himself, Mr. Harvey Fierstein. Now, based on the 2005 British film Kinky Boots and inspired by true events, the musical tells the story of Charlie Price. Having inherited a shoe factory from his father, Charlie forms an unlikely partnership with cabaret performer and drag queen Lola to produce a line of high-heeled boots and save the business. Well, in the process, Charlie and Lola discover that they are not so different after all. Now, Kinky Boots is based on the 2005 British film of the same name, which was in turn inspired by a 1999 episode of the BBC Two documentary television series, Trouble at the Top. It followed the true story of Steve Pateman, who was struggling to save his family-run shoe factory from closure, and decided to produce fetish footwear for men under the brand name Divine Footwear. Well, Daryl Roth, a Tony-winning producer, saw the film at the 2006 Sundance Film Festival and fell in love with its heart and soul. She felt that its themes resonated and thought that the story had potential as source material for a musical. Well, within a year, Roth secured the rights to adapt the film to the stage and partnered with Tony and Olivier award-winning producer Hal Luftig. By mid of 2008, Roth and Luftig were in discussions with a potential director, then hiring 3-time Tony winner Jared Mitchell to direct and Harvey Fierstein to write the book. Now, Mitchell knew that Fierstein and Cyndi Lauper were friends, and he thought that they would make a good team to create the musical. Fierstein agreed and eventually approached Lauper to write the songs because he saw in the adaptation an opportunity to work with someone with a big musical range. Somebody who could write club music, along with show tunes. Well, by June of 2010, Lauper joined the creative team, making her debut as a musical theater songwriter, although she had some theatrical experience, having performed on Broadway in the 2006 Roundabout Theater Company production of The Threepenny Opera. Now, Fierstein noted a change in focus between the film, about the saving of a factory, and the musical, which includes drag queens singing as they pass along the assembly line. He said the main difference is that the musical is, at its core, about 2 young men who come from seemingly opposite worlds who figure out that they have a lot in common, beginning with the need to stand up to the opinions of their fathers. Now, in a broadcast interview with Patrick Healy of the New York Times, Lauper and Fierstein said that in adapting the film, they stressed themes of community and the universality of the father-son bond as vehicles to explore the issues of tolerance and self-acceptance. Now, fun fact, in Lauper's first effort at writing for the stage, she found that it required a sustained effort to write songs for the different characters. Lauper joked about the difficulty of writing her first score, how much of a stretch it is for me to write songs about fashion, funny relationships, people changing their minds, and shoes. Well, the first song that Lauper wrote was the opening number. Her process was to conceive a song and sing it to her iPhone, and orchestrator Stephen Aremus would write it down. Aremus would then blow up the vocal line into harmonies, create the incidental music that linked scenes and songs, and orchestrate the entire material. Well, by October 2012, the show began its pre-Broadway run at the Bank of America Theater in Chicago, with a limited run until November of that same year. Now, fun fact here, Jared Mitchell told the New York Times that Everybody Say Yeah scene, in which the cast celebrates the creation of the first pair of Kinky Boots with a choreographed celebration on conveyor belts, required repeated innovations and adjustments, like the eventual addition of safety rails and actor controls for the apparatus. Now, designer Derek McLean commented that it's not uncommon for repeat choreographer set designer collaborations to result in intriguing innovation, like the conveyor belt dance scene in Kinky Boots. McLean was so impressed with the series of conveyor belts that came apart, moved around, and fit the context of the story, in order to accentuate the choreography of a troop of men in 4-inch heels. With respect to the conveyor belts, he said they've never been used as dynamically as this, creating a series of surprises with a kind of wild athleticism that actually looks dangerous. It's one of the more thrilling combinations of stage design and choreography that even I can recall. Now, Chicago Tribune critic Chris Jones described the show as a warm, likable, brassy, sentimental, big-hearted, and modestly scaled production. Now, after the Chicago run, the team went back to work, adding a new musical number for Charlie and a second song in the drag club, removing another song, and revising the book. All before April of 2013, when the cast and creative team were ready to bring these iconic heels to Broadway's Al Hirschfeld Theater, running for 2,507 performances. Now, the Broadway cast starred Tony-winning actor at both stage and screen Mr. Billy Porter, two-time Tony nominee Stark Sands, Tony-winning actress, singer, and dancer Annalee Ashford, and Tony-winning actress Lena Hall. Now, the production would later go on to be nominated for 13 Tony Awards, winning 6, including Best Musical. Now, fun fact here, the day after the Tonys, the show sold $1.25 million in tickets, with its advance ticket sales for future dates becoming a hot commodity. Now, in the weeks following its Tony wins, the show became so popular that in the beginning of July, a special ticket lottery system was created to keep fans from camping outside the theater. Kinky Boots set a new box office record at the Al Hirschfeld Theater and recouped its $13.5 million capitalization in a relatively quick 30 weeks of performances, which was faster than any big budget musical in recent history. Now, Ben Brantley of the New York Times gave a warm review, calling it inspired and comparing the work to other successful recent Broadway musicals. Like The Full Monty and Billy Elliot, it is set in hard times British factory town, where jobs are in jeopardy and spirits need lifting. Like La Cage aux Folles and Priscilla Queen of the Desert, it presents drag queens as the show's official spirit lifters. And like Hairspray, the musical this production most resembles in tone, Kinky Boots is about finding your passion, overcoming prejudice, and transcending stereotypes. Brantley wrote that Lauper's love and heat-seeking score wowed with her trademark mix of sentimentality and eccentricity, and that the costumes and boots courtesy of Greg Barnes made for big red scene stealers. He also praised Raise You Up and Just Be as one of the best curtain numbers since You Can't Stop the Beat sent Hairspray audiences dancing out of the theater. Brantley, however, did not extend his praise to Firestein's script, writing that his sticky, sermonizing side comes through in this second half, where all the cliches stand naked before you. Well, by September of 2015, London audiences were ready to say, yeah, yeah, as the production opened at the Adelphi Theatre in London's West End. Running for 1,400 performances, the London cast starred Irish tenor Killian Donnelly, Olivier Award-winning singer and actor Mr. Matt Henry, as well as Scottish actress and Olivier Award nominee Amy Lennox. Now, the production would later be nominated for 7 Olivier Awards, winning 3, including Best New Musical. The London production received mostly raves, with the London Evening Standard writing the thighs the limit for this high-kicking London musical, calling it a glorious high-kicking romp and adding that its energy is infectious. Time Out London called it dazzling, fabulously sassy, and uplifting, explaining it's not all glitz and high kicks. There are some grittier moments that give the show an edgier feel. And Digital Spy proclaimed it hilarious, heartwarming, and a hell of a lot of fun, offering special praise for the show's star, Matt Henry. Truly steals the show, he is utterly commanding in the role, and you instantly root for him. Well, by November 2019, Kinky Boots premiered as part of the onboard entertainment for Norwegian Encore, as a full 90-minute version of the Tony Award-winning Broadway show. Now, this shipboard production was praised for its high quality, with many reviewers noting that it felt like a Broadway tour rather than a cruise ship show. It had a professional cast and was able to maintain the integrity of the original show's sets and choreography. Some minor cuts were made to fit the 90-minute runtime, such as removing the scenes with the child actors. Now, it was announced in April of 2022 that a production of Kinky Boots would return off-Broadway at Stage 42 in New York for a limited season. Running for 102 performances, the off-Broadway revival trims the opening scene, doing away with the scenes depicting Charlie and Simon as children. Firestein also tweaked the show's dialogue and depiction of gender non-conforming identities, including removing all instances of the word transvestite and having Lola include the singular they-them pronouns when addressing the audience. And folks, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about the fabulous world of Kinky Boots. It's a show that truly lifts you up, not just with its music and its heart, but with its simple yet profound message. Just be. Be who you are, accept others for who they are, and celebrate what makes us all unique. Whether you've seen it on Broadway, on tour, or on a cruise ship, this musical has a way of making you feel a part of the family. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I highly recommend finding a local production or watching the live filmed version of the West End production. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next episode. Until then, remember to be kind and always be yourself, because you can change the world when you change your mind. Take care.